Today is Thursday, the 19th of May. Through the magic of Thinkorswim on demand, where we can replay anything that's taken place on the stock market live, I'm going to take you back now to, let's see, I'm going to take you to Tuesday the 17th. So we're going to jump to the 17th. Right now we're at 16th. Just go to the 17th and let's look at 9:25, just before the bell rings. And we're going to see on the 5-minute chart a pretty good example of where a trader might have jumped into a SINA trade. We can see that the day before we had this flat cloud, we had price coming down, and we were just below this yellow line, which is the 8 EMA. People use the 8 EMA as a buying signal. They use gaps up in the morning as a buying signal. So let's jump ahead 10 minutes. Let's take a look at what happened in the first 10 minutes of SINA trading on Tuesday. We see this, there was a jump and then a pullback. The cloud actually showed us resistance, but we had this jump and a little bit of a pullback. Let's pull ahead just another 10 minutes now, so we'll see two more 5-minute bars. If you were looking at the 5-minute chart, you got all excited about this trend up. So now after the first two red candles down, we had two green candles up. Let's go ahead another 10 minutes because we're also approaching the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. And you'd think that if we got above that, we'd have some clear sailing on taking a long on SINA. It's such a volatile high beta stock. The cloud showed us that we had a pullback. Let's look at the 15-minute for the rest of the day now. The cloud would have prevented us on the 5-minute chart from getting into this trade. Let's look at the shape of the cloud now going on the rest of the day. And what is it telling us? It's telling us that we have this very heavy resistance that is going to narrow as the day goes on and give SINA a better chance of popping out of the 15-minute cloud and running away. And we keeping in mind that we have the 200 EMA on the 15-minute right there. So let's go ahead and jump ahead a little bit more. Look at the shape of the bottom of the cloud here. This is providing support, and this is providing resistance for us. Now I'm going to have to erase this because when I jump ahead, those green lines aren't going to be relevant to the shape of the cloud anymore, but the shape of the cloud doesn't change, just where my green lines were. So let's move ahead to 14:55, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and let's see how well the cloud helped us to spot where SINA prices were going to be going after 10 o'clock, which is what we were looking at before. Pretty darn accurate. It showed us that it wasn't able to take advantage of this much resistance. That was just too much resistance, and price moved along the cloud, was rejected by the cloud, came up to test the cloud again, rejected by the cloud, and as the cloud started to narrow, resistance became less, and we started moving up through the cloud until we were able to finally break through the cloud right here. Now, is that a buy signal? The lagging chiku indicator says no. We need this line to pop through the cloud for it to be above the cloud and price to be above the cloud before we would buy if we were trading on a 15-minute time frame. So let's go ahead and let's finish off the day, and let's just jump to 1600. And where did the day finish off? The day finished off for us with a very nice move up, still no confirmation. So if you were trading the 15-minute, you wouldn't necessarily have entered this trade, but you could have, if you wanted to make some money in the last hour, have dropped down to the 5-minute cloud, and you would have seen that in the last period, when we had this run up, and we passed the 200 on the 5, we had our buy signal on the 5-minute chart here. Now the way the chiku line works, this point is actually plotted based on the value of a candle 26 points ahead. So that's the candle. As soon as this candle was formed, we had a break of the Kumu cloud back here. This would have been the buy point on the 5-minute time frame, and that's just at 2 o'clock. Let's go back and see the relevance of a 2 o'clock buy point on the 15-minute. Where were we on the 15-minute time frame? And let's go back to 15 minutes. And you can see that at 2 o'clock, we were right here. We were still in the cloud, but we had broken up decisively into the cloud. So after having seen resistance, 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 resistance all day, and the cloud getting thin, if you wanted to get into FFIV here on the 15-minute basis, it would have been too early, but you could have switched back to the 5-minute and jumped into FFIV, and from 2 o'clock on, you could have ridden this up. Here's 2 o'clock. You could have ridden it up all the way based on this candle and this break on the chiku. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for listening.